Welcome to Co-Opinions. My name is Josh, and today I have Brent.
Hello.
And Chris.
Yo.
So we are going to talk about something that I have been very interested in having a discussion about for quite a while, and that is metagaming, which is to say trophies and achievements and how they relate to how the gaming experience has changed. But before we get into that, let's talk about little games we've been playing and a not insignificant amount of gaming news that's happened. Brent, why don't you go first? I hear you have something fresh and new to talk about.
I'm still on Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, how's that going? What are you, like, in month 3 at this point? Yeah, how's that?
I'm still enjoying it, but, well, I believe I previously talked about it went a few weeks where I didn't play too much of it. I'm 75% way according to the map. So
Woo?
I'm close.
Yeah. And you think Horizon Zero... I doubt you're going to get to Horizon Zero Dawn before we speak next, so I'm not going to... Yeah, who knows? Yeah, well, probably not. Anything else?
No. I figure we'll talk about all the...
Yeah, we're going to group it all. Chris.
I've played a lot of stuff since we last answered that question, but what I'm currently playing is Beyond Two Souls.
All right. Tell us how you're enjoying that disappointing game.
I don't want to say it's disappointing. It's more like the narrative is disjuncting. It's all over the place. I love the segments I'm playing. I am enjoying the little vignettes involving Jodie and Aiden, but the narrative is a hot mess. It's like, here's a quick scene from her when she was in her 20s. Here's a quick scene when she was 5, and there is nothing linking the two.
Well, not yet, but that's kind of the bit is when you're thrown in. So, Brent, do you know anything about Beyond Two Souls?
Is that the Ellen Page one?
It is. So it's the one where Ellen Page uses a ghost to help her be a spy.
And it also has Willem Dafoe in it.
It also has Willem Dafoe in it. It was the game from David Cage, the guy who just put out Detroit Become Human and previously put out Heavy Rain. And before that, Indigo Prophecy, also known as Fahrenheit, I think.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, that one went off the rails crazy at the end. But that was a PC game. It may have been on consoles.
I think it was on Xbox as well as Fahrenheit.
Okay.
No, it's Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah.
Because Fahrenheit was the overseas name.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there pretty heavy mixed reaction?
Yeah, it wasn't very good. The story
Are you talking about Fahrenheit or are you talking about...
I'm talking Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond was a...
People had really high expectations of Beyond Two Souls after Heavy Rain came out.
Yes, which was a phenomenal game.
It hasn't aged well. It was good at the time.
Do I need to say Jason?
Ugh. But that being said, when Heavy Rain came out and that Jason scene happened, there were a lot of parents I talked to who were like, I couldn't play after that part. Like that part,
Oh, but they didn't get to when Paige has to strip for the guy to get the information out of him.
Yeah, I got the achievement for taking very few of my clothes off. Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, she was a stripper at my bachelor party.
Hey, what?
Yes.
I'm confused.
Well,
I
was playing Heavy Rain.
Okay, so you didn't have the French actress there.
Oh, God, no.
I'm about to say, dude.
It wasn't that kind of party. We couldn't afford her, but we could afford the game.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was playing the game. My bachelor party was a gamer party with some drinks and some guys, and I think a girl was there maybe that wasn't Paige. But
gotcha.
Yes, so I was doing that sequence during the party, so I had a stripper at my bachelor party. Woo.
All right, good times.
I know. Nothing more nerdy than that I can think of.
But anyways, getting back to Beyond Two Souls, it had a disjointed narrative. There's a lot of choices you can technically make in it. I don't know. I didn't find it to be very good.
I'm enjoying the gameplay. I'm liking the segments that I'm doing. I'm really interested in what Jodie and Aiden are going to do next. But I just don't feel that the narrative is... I guess the execution is just horribly wrong because there is no cohesion. It's like, here's one segment you do. Oh, that was fun. What's next? Oh, now we're going back in time to something that happened when she was 8 years old. That's completely unrelated to what I just did or what I'm doing next. Why?
I mean, yeah. There's kind of a reason for it, and you'll find out at the end.
I'm sure, but I'm like 80% of the way through the game.
Fun fact, we got the big twist about Aiden spoiled for us on accident. So when you beat the game, I'll have to tell you. You find out more about Aiden.
Yeah, well, I've already done the undersea rift mission.
I remember very little about. I know, is that the part where you have to close the rift because shadow monsters are getting out?
Well, there's more than one that does that, but that's the one where you temporarily get separated from Aiden because of the miasma between the rooms. You try to go into one when he's possessed the military commander, and he gets pushed out, and so the commander wakes up and arrests you. And so you have to work with Aiden independently of Jody.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, anything else?
No, that'd be good. We got to go to our main topics.
Well, yeah, but we're burning a lot of time on this one. So I have been playing two games, actually. I'm playing Neo, which is going very poorly. It's basically Ninja Theory's take on the Dark Souls formula. I thought I was doing great in the tutorial mission, no problems whatsoever. Thought I was doing great in the first level. Again, very little problems. Then I got to the first real boss. He's my father gas can, to speak to Bloodborne. I am having tremendous trouble with him for reasons I can't figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And
are you dodging?
Is that what I was watching you fight?
Yes, I was getting crushed by that ogre thing over and over. The problem is he can kill you in 6 hits. You have to hit him without exaggeration 100 times.
That doesn't sound like fun.
I mean, it's as much fun as playing Dark Souls or Bloodborne, which, again, I've heard multiple people say that doesn't sound like fun. Yeah, well.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, thanks, man. Super appreciated. But other than that, couple other things. I wrapped up Layton's Mystery Journey, which was that 7th portable game where you play as Layton's daughter. It was okay, not great. They changed some stuff that made it pretty so I won't be... if they come out with an 8th one, I won't be super gung-ho on it. However, also, Nick and I started up Kirby Star Allies, which is enjoyable, but a little overwhelming.
Overwhelming?
There's a lot going on screen. It's not that, it's difficult. It's the fact when you have 4 people, all who have unique powers, it can be kind of difficult to keep track of what's going on screen.
Is it like the rest of those Nintendo co-op games where you can get in each other's way?
No.
Oh, really?
No. This one, I mean, it's also a Kirby game. There's 2 different kinds of level boss dissonances. There's the Kirby kind where the levels are easy but the bosses are harder, or the Mario kind where the levels are harder but the bosses are easier. Now, the Mario kind has gone a little bit by the wayside in the last few iterations of the games. Like Super Mario 3D World had both interesting levels and interesting bosses. But like the original Marios, you had really interesting level design, then you jumped over Bowser and the boss was over. So, Star Allies, we beat the first world. I love Kirby, so I'm going to be hard-pressed to be like, oh, this sucks, because I love Kirby. But I also picked up, because I was tired of getting stomped by an ogre, I picked up Stardew Valley on the Switch, and that game's a delight. Warning to anybody who hasn't played it, even though I am well behind the curve on this one, seasons have 28 days, not 30. That's important, because when the season rolls over, all your crops die from last season. I planned my first season as if it had 30 days. I lost a lot of crops. Yeah, it was a bummer.
So at the end of every month, you lose everything?
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Is your farm destitute now?
I mean, it started as destitute. No, you can go around and, pick up coral and stuff. You could theoretically just spend the whole time picking up stuff off the ground to sell.
So a scavenger.
Yeah, that's actually what the sub task is whenever they pick things up. They're like farming, fishing, scavenging, mining, misc, which I assume is for Mouskowitz. But the world may never truly know. Anyways, moving on past that, we're going to talk rather extensively about gaming news because there's been cray pre-E3 news. So who would like to, Chris, take the Pokemon news?
Oh, yeah. So we got Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee that's coming on to the Switch. I'm excited about that because I'm still an avid Pokemon Go player. About to reach level 40 finally.
Boo, but go ahead.
Quit being a hater.
I will not. I will warn you ahead of time that this discussion will have much Josh Salt.
Oh, yes, it will.
Mm-hmm.
But to geek out about the Pokemon Go and the Pokemon Switch, I guess crossover, if you will, it has a little bit of fun elements I'm excited about. It's basically a remaster of Pokemon Yellow with some Go elements into it. So I'm excited about that because I never actually played Yellow. I played Red and Blue, Fire Red and Leaf Green. So I'm excited to see what they do there. Of course, the integration with Pokemon Go, where you get the little Pokeball, you can transfer your Pokemon from Go into the Switch game is nice, although you can't pull it back. But
see, why has nobody else picked up on that? I've heard multiple people be like, they think this is how they're going to institute trading in Pokemon Go. I don't see how they think that, because they can't go from the game to Pokemon Go.
There'll need to be an extra step, because just based upon the little scenes we saw, the way battles work in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are more like the traditional battles of the mainline games, not like the Pokemon Go raid battle system.
Right.
Where you only have 2 moves, fast and rapidly tapping in their charge moves.
Well, and that's another thing that I'm real curious about, is that we saw in the trailer that you don't fight Pokemon before you try to catch them. It's straight up like Pokemon Go.
Yes.
So if it's a rare Pokemon, like, you're going to keep losing them? Like, I don't feel like they showed anything that there's an easier way. There's no berries in Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. There's no beating them until they're semi-unconscious in those games. You just throw a Pokeball.
Yeah, it's designed for the casual Pokemon Go player.
But a restriction in those early games was you had to buy the Pokeballs, so that you didn't have to throw as many Pokeballs in those games. So are they going to make the Pokeballs cheaper? Are they going to make you get them for free? Like, it seems to me like they said, hey, Niantic, you want to make a full legit Pokemon game? Yes, but we don't want to do too much work. Okay, just remake one of the old ones and then hawk some of your mechanics in there.
Honestly, that's probably the best thing they could hope for to further expand from the Pokemon Go crowd is to do this. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be a full-fledged game, but we have one coming the next year. So
that is correct. They did say.
I'm excited about that as well.
Mainline entry in 2019.
Yep.
But did you want to talk about for the Switch?
So I'm curious if that's the one, because back when there was the leak about there being a Switch game that had Pokemon Go connections, there was also that the CEO of the company makes Pokemon that I suddenly can't remember its name.
Oh, Robert Niantic.
That's the one that's Pokemon Go. I think you're talking about actual mainline Pokemon.
No, I don't remember who it is. Go ahead.
But anyways, the CEO of that company said something about a mainline game. Like, the way he made it sound was why people assumed it was called Pokemon Star in association with Sun and Moon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
no, that's completely different here.
Anything else you want to add about the Pokemon announcement, though?
I know there's a third game, which
it's a free to start thing on the
Its
Switch.
Name escapes me.
Pokemon Quest.
I honestly, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and the new mainline intro more than enough. This other game, maybe I'll check it out, but it was not my focus.
This will be the first mainline game I probably play. Well, if you don't count Snap.
How could you not count Snap?
Because some people don't.
That's fine.
I do.
Anyways, so anything else about Pokemon?
No, I'll go ahead and pass that off.
All right.
Save you the salt.
Yeah, so much salt. I mean, I'm glad people are excited for it. I have zero personal excitement. Brent, did you want to talk about the Ubisoft leak?
Oh, yes. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yep. You heard about this, Chris?
I heard the name, but I know nothing else.
So, this is confusing.
First off, mention how it leaked.
How did it leak?
There were pictures of merchandise that got uploaded.
Yeah, someone uploaded it to Reddit or Twitter.
Yeah, they had a picture of an Assassin's Creed Odyssey keychain that had a Greek helmet on it.
It's the Spartan helmet. So then there was a shirt that has the Assassin's Creed symbol and then a Spartan helmet in the middle of it. It's weird because that means that it's at least no short of 400 years prior to Origins,
which was supposed to be
the creation of the Assassins. So it's really weird to go more prequel.
Awkward.
Yeah, I have theories. I think it's supposed to be about the assassin, the proto-assassin who created the Hidden Blade, because he's supposed to be the person who assassinated, historical fact, Xerxes the First, who was the emperor of the Persian Empire when the 300 Spartan thing happened. So I think that's when this game takes place. I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. Anything else about this Odyssey though?
I am really worried it's coming out this year.
I mean, if
I'm worried it's coming out this year.
Well, because we were pretty stoked that they took a year off.
I love Assassin's Creed, but even I have there was too much.
Well, and they started goofing real bad.
Unity is a bar that cannot be undone.
Unity was not good, and then Syndicate basically tried to backpedal real hard, but it wasn't enough, and it wasn't. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good enough to make up for Unity. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Anyways, and they also teased Fallout 76, which is curious because the last Fallout game came out 3 years ago, whereas the last Elder Scrolls game came out 7 years ago. We could still see another Elder Scrolls game.
So is this going to be a full-fledged
It's a console game.
Is it a console game?
Yep. They said it's going to be on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, which also makes me think it's coming soon.
Interesting.
And there's some curious historical precedent because in the games, Fallout 76 was kind of like a hub vault, like that vault controlled other vaults.
Okay, so I was curious. The 76 was referring to the vault number?
Yeah. Okay. But, well, they show a vault dweller with a jumpsuit that says 76 on the back. So that's already a big thing from that. I'm trying to think if there were any other significant leaks. Nothing really springs to mind.
You mean just in general leaks?
Yeah.
One that came out possibly today, that Dragon Ball Fighter Z is coming to the Switch. There was a bunch of Switch leaks.
Yeah, but some of those, I feel like you told me one of them. I'm like, that is already out on the Switch. Oh, Overcooked. That was it. Like that ain't
Overcooked 2.
Overcooked 2.
Ooh, I didn't notice that part.
Oh, yeah, that was what I was saying earlier.
Oh.
Was Overcooked 2 was what I was referring to.
That would be rad.
And now I've lost the article that I was reading.
Smooth.
Yeah, FIFA 19 was Fortnite coming to the Switch.
Oh, well, that'll be exciting. Man, the Switch is blowing up.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there was a plethora of games they accidentally
looked for the Switch. I remember seeing a big old list and
catalog thing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to, because we're going to actually, based on how this pans out. Yeah, this one's probably going to come out after our E3 episode. I might have to reprioritize when these come out. Never mind. So
you dated it.
We were doing that real bad in one of the previous ones we recorded. But anyways, any other little gaming news we want to talk about? With E3 coming up, like, there's not. You gotta focus on this stuff.
Well, there is that possible Star Fox spinoff that's going to be a racing game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about all that.
I'm keeping that firm in the rumor category for now.
Well, the spinoff is confirmed. Yeah. Like, there is a company working on a spinoff, but the racing game part is not.
I don't know, though. I could get behind an R-Wing racer.
So, I was going to say.
Let's if it was an R-Wing racer, it's going to be a Dino Planet racer.
So we don't want
on foot?
Yeah.
So we don't want to fully delve
Star Fox track meet?
For some reason, I thought you meant track MEAT. And I'm like, pardon?
Well, at the end of each race.
On a dinosaur planet, it may as well be.
Yeah.
At the end of each race, the losing people are cut up in
circles.
How did they make a mature rated Star Fox game? I don't really want to.
Really delved into the Turok here.
Yeah.
But I love that they don't want to get rid of the franchise. They don't want to make a new game, but they want to make a spin-off. Also, we haven't had a Falcon racing game.
We haven't had an F-Zero game in forever, man.
F-Zero game we had was Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, that was.
Yeah.
So
the only thing you're missing is actually Captain Falcon as a racer, which I'm surprised you couldn't make a Mii with his outfit on and do that. With his outfit?
Uh-huh.
Done. Okay, so that was it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Brett.
I did.
Brett
I took a picture of
pictures
it where you're in the F-Zero cart on the F-Zero level in that outfit. And I posted it up and tagged Alex in it. I'm like, look, they made a new F-Zero game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so sassy. But do we have any other things we want to talk about?
Well, apparently that Sonic movie.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy comic Sonic thing, whatever. Buddy cop comedy Sonic movie, whatever. Anyways, the last thing was Sonic Team Racing got announced. New Sonic racing game.
Funny after we talked about all the racing games.
Yeah. See?
So that's what we got to just keep doing.
Yeah, just
all these
talking about
games
there
and
you go.
put out new ones.
That's how, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a prophet, but I mean...
So maybe someday we can force Half-Life 3.
No.
No,
There's some things even we can't do. Anyways, you guys ready to move into the full real topic?
Yes.
Let's do this.
Okay. So what I wanted to talk about forever and a day is the concept of achievements, trophies, and Steam achievements, just the general idea behind them. And when we first encountered them, how we think they've affected gaming, how we've seen them affect gaming, where we think, like, do we still think there's as strong of a culture, et cetera, that kind of thing. But of all of us, correct me if I'm wrong, but Chris, you care the least about these kind. We're going to call them achievements for the sake of simplicity, even though I know you primarily do PlayStation gaming.
Nowadays, when they first rolled out, I was hardcore Xbox 360.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah. If I had a favorite console for each generation, it was the 360 during that generation. Everything I got, if it was a non-exclusive, I got it on the 360.
That was me last generation as well. I thought, and Brent, same for you, right?
What?
That was your first interaction with that kind of thing, was 360.
No. Because I had a PlayStation 3 first.
Now, but the PlayStation 3, it did not have trophies when it launched. Like, they were optional. I know that for a fact because there are some games like Heavenly Sword that you could patch a trophy list in. The first Uncharted game did, and Metal Gear Solid 4 did.
Yeah. No, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 didn't. Yeah, but that was at the time where I just didn't care about them.
Well, and you had somewhat of a rocky start with them because 360 was my poison of choice, apparently Chris's poison of choice, but Brent apparently started with PS3. And it was an interesting concept because the idea behind it was it allowed you to tie some kind of, I'll explain the idea of achievements for anybody who possibly doesn't know. Whenever you meet some arbitrary set of requirements, the game will reward you with an arbitrary amount of points, or in the case of PlayStation, a trophy that is either bronze, silver, or gold, entirely at the discretion of the developers. And then you have on your card that you have met this arbitrary thing and got these arbitrary points. And both Xbox has a way of quantifying this by how big your number is, and PlayStation now also has a number, but you can look at how many of these different kind of trophies you had. If you get all the trophies in a game, some of them have platinums, so you can easily, quote unquote, see what games you've completed. So, Brent, why didn't you care about them?
I didn't see a reason to. I thought it was just some kind of tack on to make people care about video games instead of just playing the game.
And Chris, what did you think?
It didn't do what I expected it to do.
And
I expected the achievements to be like, hey, you did this unusual thing that normal people wouldn't do in the game. Here's an achievement score for it. As opposed to, you beat the first boss, you beat the second boss, you beat the third boss. I was expecting it to be more of a unique experience as opposed to, here's a check mark.
Now, I found it to be interesting because it basically gave me more check marks to do in a game, which is to say I might have... In this, I think it hit the sweet spot of when it came out, because when the 360 came out, I was 19, I think, 18 or 19. Well, no, it came out when we were in high school.
2006, I think? 2005, 2006.
So I would have been, I think I would have been 18. Yeah, I remember.
I think it was 2005 even.
Was it the first one out that year?
I think it was.
Because we came out 2006, November.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, 360. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had my first apartment in 2005, so I'm pretty sure that's when it was.
Oh, Chris, you're so old.
I know, man.
Anyways, so it hit a sweet spot for me because I needed games to last as long as they could. So with the achievements, I had something extra to go for. But it created an unhealthy mentality for me where I'm like, I haven't beaten this game if I don't get all the achievements. But some of the achievements are things like, to fast forward significantly, in the new Doom game, there is one trophy I don't have. It is beat the first level on the hardest difficulty. But Josh, why can't you beat the first level on the hardest difficulty? because the hardest difficulty makes it when you die, you go back to the beginning of the game. Yes. And things like imps, the basic enemy, can kill you in about 6 seconds. It's brutal. So, but it gave me something that I could try to focus on. But I noticed that it became weirdly competitive with some of my friends where they're like, oh, you got this many points? Well, I got this many points.
I think that's what killed me about it. I think that's what, at first, I was like, this is stupid. Like, I didn't like the amount people cared so much about.
And I felt like on that generation, and probably even this one, though I've switched from Microsoft to Sony this generation, I feel like the Xbox was inherently worse about that because your status is displayed as a number, like how big your number is. There was a guy whose job was keeping the highest gamer score.
When I first got the 360, my friend who's also named Chris, shout out to him who's listening to the program, he told me about the achievement system. He was super excited about me, and his excitement was infectious. It got me excited about the achievement system. And one day we were talking about it. It was probably about 6 months after both had the consoles out. And he was talking about because of my gaming legacy, where I would go around and do wild things. Like I would beat Final Fantasy III with the minimum party. I would find shortcuts in all sorts of games. I would boast beating games in the minimum amount of times. So he was expecting my gamer score to just skyrocket, just take off and be top leaderboard. It did not do that. I think I only got a completed gamer score on one game out of my entire history of owning a 360, and I couldn't even tell you what game that was. I think it was an Xbox Live Arcade game. You only get 200 gamer score if you complete it.
They changed that, by the way.
Well, dating myself, this was back,
no one else would. Ago. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
I wasn't sure if I could, but that's okay. But that's something that's ingrained with me is the gamer score. I feel there is a lot of weight put into that. If you have a high score, well, what did you do? Did you actually play all the games, or did you go and find all the games that had easy achievements, like the Avatar game that you could play in 5 minutes and get 1,000 gamer score?
Yeah, for getting a 50-hit combo, which you can do through a fence. Yes. Now, it's interesting that you should mention that way, because there's two things. One is that the early games that implemented the achievements / trophies, they didn't know how to design them well either. Because there was a game, Peter Jackson's King Kong, all of the achievements were related to just playing through the game. Like they didn't have anything else. And then you had ones like the Avatar game where it was just 15 minutes and you got 1,000 gamer score. Now, I knew a guy, and this is what actually prompted me to want to talk about this, who he got into a competition with his buddies about who could get the highest gamer score. So what he did was he went out and he found the absolute easiest games to raise his gamer score on. So I'm looking at his gaming history, and it's like Megamind and Frogger and King Kong and like the most basic games, like complete. Like, do you play games, or are you just trying to grind up your trophy count? He's like, it's the trophy thing. Why? That doesn't sound enjoyable. He's like, well, I gotta beat my buddies. Like, are you playing games, or is your game to beat games? Like, what is the goal here for you?
Hey man, some folks are like, that's what they want. That's their game, is I gotta be better than my friend, let alone the fact that I'm enjoying the game or not. It doesn't matter. I'm being better than him.
Well, and that I think was one of the things that derailed him, was because I never really knew his buddies, but I knew this guy fairly well. So he tried to get competitive with me, and it wasn't a matter of getting the most trophies the fastest, who could complete a game. So I would get a platinum in like Hotline Miami, and that's not an easy game, and that's not an easy game to get the platinum on. So he's like, oh, I'll get there. I'm like, all right, good luck, Chief. And he got like through the first 3 levels. He's like, this game's so hard. I'm like, yeah, but you're about to get the platinum, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a game called Sound Shapes as well. And you were shapes, and when you collected other shapes, it made sounds. Ta-da, right? But when you finished the quote-unquote campaign mode, there were challenge levels. And the idea usually was you had to survive in these challenge levels for so long. They got hard. but I spent a weekend and just crushed through it. He's like, "Oh, I'll be there soon." I'm like, "I don't think you will. Like, I've seen how well you do this, and not super confident in you, man." He's like, "No, I'll be right behind you." He never got behind me.
Aw.
But the thing that really made me want to bring this up more than anything was some games, the achievements are grindfest nightmares.
Are we referring to Undertale?
No, actually, though, that one, that is also a grindfest
I mean, that
nightmare.
one's almost a satire.
It is.
A grindfest nightmare.
It 100% is a satire. Chris, are you aware of the achievement we're referring to?
I am not, but I can think of another game that's a grindfest for getting a platinum, and I did it.
And that was?
I Am Setsuna.
Nice.
Yes.
So what was that grindfest? Then we'll talk about the Undertale grindfest, and I'll get back to the original point.
Well, in that game, you earn Sprint Knight, and you can
What
level
is
it up.
Sprint Knight?
It's basically the equivalent of materia. You gem it into your characters, and it unlocks abilities, whether it be, I think, increasing of a stat or unlocks a skill.
You had me at jam it into your characters.
Yes.
Go on.
But one of the achievements is to, I believe, either collect 200 Sprint Knight or activate 200. I forget the term, but you do so by battling it. Every time you do a battle and you activate a skill that has a Sprint Knight tied to it, it'll rank up or it'll evolve or whatever the term is. But it's not guaranteed every battle. So I'm spending literally a 20-hour game. Took me about 40 hours because the last 20 hours was spent grinding to get this last trophy, this last achievement.
Did you find that ruined it?
Honestly, by the time I got to it, I'm like, I'm glad I did it because it's done. I got the marker, but was the journey really worth it?
Yeah, I mean, like, what did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed the game. I did not enjoy that final grind session because of the random number generator behind
That
it.
legit took up half of your play time.
Yes.
Like, do you worry that those markers are detracting from the enjoyment?
For me, yes, only because my enjoyment is through playing the game the way I want to play. And grinding out something for 20 hours to get that final check mark is not a way I want to play a game. I'd rather go do something unusual, like, oh, I somehow managed to deal 20,000 damage in a single blow. That'd be kind of cool to me because that's something different, something tangible, as opposed to, yeah, I hit the same enemy 100,000 times and the 1% chance that my Sprint Knight evolves and I get the credit for it.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'll say, at that point, that's borderline farming in a MMO.
Exactly.
Bleh.
Although I did do farming in 14. So.
Yeah, but I mean, from everything I hear, 14 nowadays is baby's first MMO.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, an accessible game is not necessarily a bad game.
Yeah, exactly.
Brent, did you feel like at any point these little flags were causing you issues?
I mean, kind of. I was going to say, when I even first started I think I cared a little bit with PlayStation trophies. I don't remember fully being invested until I got my 360. And then I cared a little bit. Like, the games I delved into trying to even get all the trophies were the arcade games. Mainly because there were so few of them. And I completed a whole bunch. And I liked a lot of... The arcade games on my 360 were the thing that made my 360 for me. Compared to all the games I own for it.
What, Gears 1 through 3 didn't do it for you?
Crackdown 1 and 2.
Are you referring to Xbox Live Arcade or actual arcade games that were put on the Xbox?
No,
Xbox Live
arcade games.
Okay.
Like Dust, Elysium Tale.
I was about to say, man, I love some Ninja Turtles and Simpsons on Xbox Arcade.
No. That being said, I had like Sonic Adventure 2 on there, and I still never beaten it. Man, I am blanking here.
What was in them?
Xbox.
Left 4 Dead?
No, other.
What other zombie game was there than Left 4 Dead? Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Yeah, okay. Off the record was stupid fun.
Yeah, and some of the extra achievements in that after you beat the story were kind of fun to do. Build this device and kill this many zombies with it.
Yeah.
I will do that.
All right, that was actually a lot of fun.
Except for the last one, the prequel to the second one.
Case Zero.
Yeah, there's one achievement I couldn't get because of a glitch.
Nice.
Pissed me off.
Gone forever.
Yeah.
So I would just like to address real fast. I think the Case Zero idea was one of the best ideas they'd ever had.
No, wait, not Case Zero, the sequel.
Case West.
Yeah, Case West.
Yeah, we played that together.
Yeah, but there was one I couldn't get because something happened and it wouldn't let me get it. And it made me really mad. I had to replay the whole thing.
Nice.
I know that feeling. I put that many a game because I couldn't get an achievement or a trophy because...
Glitch.
Yeah,
well,
glitch or
we kept doing it, and Josh was like, we should be getting it now. And I looked it up. It's like, if you did this by accident first, you're not going to get this trophy. I'm like, that's some bull.
That's exactly what you did.
So, anyways, to go back to the Undertale grind fest, the idea is there's a dog shrine in it.
Oh, I think I know about that.
And what you have to do is you have to go in the room, put a coin in, and then what it says when you've dropped the first one, it goes, I have a hunch you're about to waste an enormous amount of time. To get all of the dog shrine trophies, you have to leave and re-enter and put a coin in 300 times.
If you want to experience this with us, we did post up the live stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 20 minutes long.
Yeah, of Dog Nation 2018. It might be half an hour long.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
I have to look it up.
Yeah.
Despite how grindy that is, that still sounds more fun and doable than what I did in I Am Setsuna.
Well, so every time you leave and come back and give him more money, more has been added to the shrine.
Yeah, every time that he fills it out, there's been more stuff. Like, at one point, the donation box gets bigger, but the slot doesn't, so you can still only put in one at a time. There's
at
also...
one point, he gives you a CD of music.
Yeah.
And you put it in, and it's like, this may have been a...
No, it's the dog song. Bark, 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 bark.
What is it? We tried to shut it. Because you tried to shut it off, but now it appears to be playing faster.
Bark, 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 bark.
Or he gives you another one. It's like, he's giving you another CD. There appears to be no CD in the game.
Yeah. 3 lengths of rope. Just, they're like 8-inch long lengths of rope. Can't do nothing with them.
I like when he added the lights to the background.
Yeah. There's they put Christmas lights on top of the shrine. There's a wacky inflatable tube guy in the corner.
Does he buy 2 wacky?
Yeah, I think there's only one wacky inflatable. Anyway, it's straight up a send up of it, and it was entertaining. There's no two ways about it. But you can tell that the creator of Undertale, Toby Fox, did not want to put trophies in because every other trophy is progression based in that game. And that kind of goes back to your whole... No, not every other trophy. There's also ones for getting 1 item and 2 items. Every other trophy is progression based. So I technically already have the platinum in that game, even though I haven't finished up my true pacifist run yet. We should be doing that later, though. So... Not to date the episode or anything, but...
Well, you already done that twice now.
Anyways, so to go back to the original point, this guy who ruined a game for himself by grinding was Final Fantasy X. To get all the trophies in Final Fantasy X, one of them included filling the sphere grid with everybody. Now, Chris is solemnly nodding his head.
Because I considered doing it, because I love 10.
But come on, man. Does that even sound fun?
Well, while it doesn't sound fun,
that
does kind of fall into the spirit of getting an achievement, because that's the kind of thing I would have done, because I think I did do that my first playthrough of 10.
Like that?
Back on the PS2.
That's like...
When that feels like that's the spirit of the achievement, it's like, then is it really worth it?
That's like saying you have to grind all your characters up to 99 when you can beat the game at 40. Like, why? Just why?
Done that.
I know you've done that, Chris.
With many games.
I know you've done that. God. And then you'd have games like, for example, now here's an example of something that would have tied into other Chris. Which Chris is that? Does he listen to this?
He should. I know he's listened to the episodes that I'm on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But he's never commented?
Well, he'll listen on this episode.
Okay, yes. Cool. Anyways, in the game Kingdom Hearts, there were 3 trophies that were semi-mutually exclusive when it came over as 1.5 HD Remix. What kind of names are these anyways? 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8. I'm not sure if they did. Maybe.
2.99 EX Edition.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the 2.99, which has every game prior to 3, and then True 3, which has all of them.
That's announced at E3 this
year. Yeah, probably. Anyway, we are going to get a Kingdom Hearts release date at this E3. Just
hopefully.
Anyway,
probably after 2.99 with the 2 trailers of 3 at the end of it when you beat it.
There you go. So there is, what is it? There is a trophy for beating the game in less than 15 hours. It's a very short amount of time. Maybe 10 hours? I don't know.
How would you do it? It's like the disc hack from 9?
It's called the Sadist.
Well, I feel like there are some levels in that game you could skip. I can't remember, but I feel like there's some. There's also ones for never changing your equipment. And
I would have gotten that if you put that in Undertale.
Oh my god, this dude. You did change your equipment, by the way, right? Yeah. He didn't change it till Asgore, but he did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Anecdote that I'm sure we've brought up on this podcast before. Brent gets to the final boss of Undertale. Is like, he just kills me so fast. I've been considering buying some of those battle defensive items, and I'm like, okay, like the food. Like some of the food does raise your... And so I'm like, Brent, why do you still have the Band-Aid equipped? He's like, what? I'm like, you still have your starting equipment on. It's like...
Were you doing a pacifist run?
He was actually doing a pacifist run, but he'd never switched his defensive.
Well, I guess he was doing a pacifist run.
He didn't know.
Not need to.
No, he didn't know. He didn't know. That's all there is to it.
I was playing the hard pacifist run.
Yeah, or the Brent mode. Anyway,
there we go.
So Kingdom Hearts had these 3 trophies that were mutually exclusive: not switching your gear, beating it so fast, and I feel like there was one for like getting up to a certain level before you beat it. You could not get all these trophies in one playthrough, and they all spoke to unique ways to play through the game. Now here's the downside of that. The game has to be interesting enough to warrant those kinds of playthroughs. Because when's the last time any of you guys played the original Kingdom Hearts?
1.5 HD remix.
So, yeah, I know, Brad.
That's the last time I played it, and I did not beat it.
It hasn't aged well. Like, the camera angle wasn't good back when it came out in 2004? And it's the original...
I was in college, so it had to be at least 4.
No, I think it's before 4.
Oh, it probably was.
That was right when 2003. It had to be 2003.
No, maybe it was. Maybe you're right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I do want to say the music's aged well, though.
The music's aged phenomenally, but I mean, it's not like the music had bad camera angles. Anyways, so when you put things like that, or games that require you to get the different endings, but due to bad porting issues, looking at you, Silent Hill 2, you don't really want to play through it a bunch of times. So
is that the one with the dog?
That is, well, I mean, a lot of them had the dog ending.
That was like the most iconic one, though.
That was a really iconic one. So, anyways, the problem we were running, that was near the genesis of the achievements, trophies, etc. Now that I got well off of it, there was some enthusiasm or muted enthusiasm. Then there was a point where we were all fairly into well, not you, Chris, because despite the fact that you played a lot of games, you just never really saw the draw, correct?
Correct. I was excited when it first came out back in 2005. I was like, oh, achievement, something new. But after realizing that I'd have to play a game in a way I don't want to play to get it, I kind of just didn't care.
And then it kind of made it tried to guilt you by making it seem like you hadn't completed the game.
Indeed.
Which is some old bogus nonsense. Yeah. Because, for example... I'm trying to think of, I had the opposite version of this with Assassin's Creed Origins recently, where I got the platinum for that game, but I didn't finish all the missions in that game. So it's not required to finish all the missions to get the platinum. So technically, as far as trophies go, they'd be like, wow, you completed this? Well, I didn't do about 20 missions, but yeah, I completed it. So is that weird to you guys?
Absolutely. There should be at least... There needs to be achievement for beating the game. That's just common sense.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah, but apparently not, considering you're able to get all the achievements without completing the game.
Oh no, that was one of them. Oh, you mean Undertale?
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah. But I have another side thing though, is that there has been, not only has achievements been like, oh, I don't really care about it, but missing one has actually had a detrimental effect on me wanting to play a game.
Looking at you, Secret of Mana.
Yep, I know I told you about my fault with that one. Despite the fact that I did like the remake despite all its flaws. I did like the remake. What I did not like was that I missed out on 2 achievements because of information that was not privy to me when I was playing the game. And it's something I normally would have done. And it was kill all enemies, because I missed one enemy in one dungeon that you can't go back to. Because whenever I played that game, because I played this game every iteration, every year for the past 20 plus years, I'm not going to kill everybody in the Haunted Cathedral and the Pandora Ruins, because I want to go ahead and get through that part so I can go and get more magic and go on the rest of the game. But I missed the evil sword, and the evil sword does not show up anywhere else, and you can't go back to that place once you beat it. So that achievement was lost on me. And then I lost another achievement for, I think it was a piece of equipment you can buy or you can collect, and I didn't collect it. So no matter what other grinding I did in the Mana Fortress, I wouldn't get the achievement because I missed this one piece of equipment early on. And those together just basically killed my desire to keep going, because I was all in. I was ready to make my perfect file where everybody's level 99, magic's 99, weapons and skill are all maxed. And then I find out I get to the Mana Fortress, I'm missing these 2 achievements. My whole shift changed. Like, all right, well, I'm done with this game. Let's just beat it and go on to the next game. So I went through and beat it in like 20 minutes and then put it away.
So is that something... Are we in agreement that missable achievements should be gone? Like, missable achievements... I feel like Chris isn't the only one who has that experience where if you're playing through a game and you're trying to quote-unquote complete it, and it's not a game where you have chapter accessibility or whatever, that if you miss an achievement and you've been going for it, just your drive drops through the floor.
The drive part, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that should be just banned on a federal level. Because I know I've played some games before where I'm like, all right, I think I'm doing great. Let's see, what non-hidden achievements are there? Okay, doing good. And then I get to the end of the game and I'm missing like 3. I'm like, well, what did I miss? You forgot to pick up this cup in the 3rd chapter, and now you have to start over if you want to get it.
Well, yeah, it was the same thing with the Case West thing. I think that killed me for a while, because I gotten so into doing all those Xbox Live Arcade games, hitting all the achievements for all of them, and then... Like Mark of the Ninja, I remember.
That game was rad.
What is the Xbox version of?
I mean, you just have all of them.
Yeah, I had it all. Like, that game was so great.
So, are you going to be rebuying it on the Switch?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm kind of considering it. Go ahead.
But, yeah, that Case West one killed me.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, especially talking about ones that derail wanting to do completion, like, around that time, I was hitting some games up on PlayStation. After I'd started caring about these things, online trophies really killed my...
Oh, yeah, like happened to be in the top 1% of the leaderboards.
Well, like, the first game that made me happy that only had one, that special Just Play Online achievement was Resistance Burning Sky on the Vita. So just try it. And if you just play one round, you get it.
I think one of the Uncharted games basically had that.
Now the Killzone game, Mercenaries for Vita, it had several different do all these things. Like, I had a lot of first-person shooters where the online ones, like, that's 70% of the trophies. That killed me, because I'm never going to do this stuff. Hit this person, hit a headshot from this far away. I'm like, I don't want to, no.
I remember my Halo days trying to do that, but I had to do something like win 1,000 matches, and I'm like, I'm not going to be playing 1,000 matches, and now the servers are down, you can't do it anymore.
Right, that makes sense.
And that's really annoying.
Goes back to that missable thing. So are you guys comfortable speaking about where you are now with the idea of trophies?
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on them?
Well, I'll just go ahead and jump in. I don't inherently dislike the achievement system, despite the fact that it does nothing for me as a gamer personally. I do like the idea that you get a reward for doing something, but I think it should be more than just you beat this level or you beat this boss. There should be more of a unique factor to it. It should be something that you've done that's out of the ordinary that you get an achievement for.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you're aware about this, but Sony PlayStation recently begun a program where you can, I guess I want to say monetize, but you can get a reward for platinuming.
Oh, you mean the actual platinum trophies?
Yes.
Those things are rad.
Yes. And I'm like, that really lifted my spirits for the whole achievement and trophy system, because now you can get a tangible reward for doing it.
If you are one of first like 100 people who got a platinum for like Gran Turismo or something, they'll actually send you a platinum trophy. Not actual platinum for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I get what you.
But an actual
It's a faux
physical, right? Yes. Faux platinum.
Yes, but you actually get, I think, give you PSN points or actual cash money.
That would be something that would raise my belief in all trophies
and
things.
Xbox actually did that a while back with the Xbox Ambassadors program or something. When your achievement score was high enough, your gamer score was high enough, it was supposed to give you something. But I don't remember what because it was so insignificant. Do you not remember this?
I don't remember something, but I don't remember what.
It didn't do much.
Was that during the 360 era or during the Xbox
360.
One? Then I don't know. I don't remember it.
Chris, anything else to add about where you're at?
Honestly, that's about it, really.
All right, Brent, why don't you say where you've landed currently?
I've dipped back down into it's not a big... For me, essentially, achievements are tracking my progress through a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I see achievements pop up, like I've done something, I'm intrigued, so I will, like, Mass Effect, I've hit a bunch of trophies, so I'll click it just to see what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You've killed this many people, things like that. I'm like, okay, interesting. Like Arkham Knight, they're like to open up extra bonus things. Like I kept track of some of the achievements because you have to do them to get extra content to open up, and that's about as much as I care at this point.
Wait, are you saying content is locked behind achievements?
It's not locked behind the achievement, but the achievement is for doing the specific thing that it's locked.
I get what you're saying.
There's like in the AR stuff, to open up all of them, you have to do specific. It's listed as you have to do glide in and batarang 3 people this way, and there's a trophy for it, but it's not locked behind the trophy. You just get a trophy for doing it.
Gotcha.
So,
all right. Anything else?
No.
So I'm currently vehemently anti-trophy and achievement, to tell you the truth, because something that I've noticed...
Which is funny, because you tried to sell me on it years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's not
change.
A decade doesn't change anything. No, what really got me, there were a couple things that got me. One, and you've seen this in some editorials online, is that the trophies were actually, like, destroying the gravity of situations. So you guys have neither played nor intend to play the game Enslaved Odyssey to the West, correct?
I played a little bit. It was on the 360, wasn't it?
Yeah, 360.
Yeah, I remember it.
That's fine. I'm going to spoil this for you now.
I don't care. I already know the story of Monkey anyway.
Okay. You get to the tail end of the game, and it is about what was the girl's name? I don't even remember. It was a girl, and she enlisted the help of a big brutish dude named Monkey by having a control band on his head. And it's basically Odyssey to the West, except in future cyberpunky style thing. And there is a character named Pigsy. And the character named Pigsy makes a heroic sacrifice near the end. And it's very sad because a bunch of these robots are coming to destroy you. And he's like, you go, I'll take care of them. And like all these robots pile onto his mech. And it's really sad because you've actually developed a huge connection with him over the course of the game. As it fades to black, bing, smells like bacon. Come on!
Oh.
Come on!
Oh.
Guys! Like, wait or there was the one I remember, friend of the show, Nick, in the first season of the Walking Dead game. Brent, did you play this on 360, PS3, what?
360.
Okay. There's a point where a guy, I don't remember if he just has a heart attack and you think he might die.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so you're trying to resuscitate him. And if you act fast enough, you can resuscitate him, but there's no way to stop what happens next. And that's a different character, crushes his head with a salt lick to make sure he won't reanimate as a zombie.
Ow.
Bing! Achievement. Too much salt will kill you. Thanks, guys. That's great. Now, sometimes these humorous trophies can be the best. Like in Sonic Mania, there's a really cool thing that can happen if you have the fire shield on and you try to cross a wooden bridge. The wooden bridge will actually burn away and fall off. And if you're playing on a system that gives you achievements or trophies, bing, it can't hurt you anymore. I don't know why that's so funny, but...
What was the one
Oh,
We did,
it was Layers of Fear.
Oh, there was that one.
Okay, which
That
other
was
one?
Little Nightmares at the very end of the DLC. Right when you're figuring, right after if you watch and we figure out exactly what the kid is just turned into.
Yeah.
Like, there's the trophy and it said something. I can't remember what it said, but we both like grow.
That is We'll Meet Again was the name of that trophy.
Right.
Now, that actually was a relatively effective use because I wanted to die.
Yeah.
And the one that made us laugh a lot was in Layers of Fear. There's a point where it's a first-person horror game, and you're being haunted by specters of your own madness. And at one point, you're crossing under a threshold type thing, and it says, "Don't turn around." And I sat there for like a minute just looking at it. But it's like, "Don't do it, man. It says not to do it." I'm like, I kind of want to do it. And don't do it. So we go through the door without turning around. Bing! Self-preservation. Like, all right.
If he had turned around,
You die.
the ghost of his wife is there, and she killed Josh once before.
Yeah, I thought
we weren't 100% sure he had died, but then we found out, oh yeah, that was a death state.
Yeah.
So she would have been right there had he turned around.
Yeah, and just instant murder. So I have been vehemently anti-trophy because it has felt liberating. When I bought Sonic Mania on the Switch, I never had a trophy guilting me into not collecting all the Chaos Emeralds at first. Playing Stardew Valley, I have no incentive to play through the game 3 times to get the different trophies. Supposedly, there's kind of different endings you can do. Like, if there is a multi-platform game and it does not run significantly worse on the Switch, I will get it for the Switch.
Now, is this specifically because of the trophy
Yes.
system?
And the portability is nice too.
I was going to say for that, man.
The portability is pretty great. But the big 2 factors there are it has to run well. So that really only leaves a lot of third-party games. Because if Assassin's Creed Odyssey comes out on the Switch, pretty sure it's not going to run as well as on the PS4.
Well, it probably won't look as... But that doesn't matter.
Well, it does when you have a nice sized TV, Brent. You'll know someday. Did you listen to? Never mind. Remind me, I need to bring
the Nick
one.
No.
No. The
Josh.
No, the Josh interview where I actually apologized for bullying you.
I have not yet.
Yeah, good times. So,
Brent, I'm sorry for you.
I mean, I'm sorry for him too. But what are we talking about? Anyways, so let's go ahead and wrap this up, quote unquote, where we think they're going. They're not going anywhere. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
No.
More than anything, I'm shocked Nintendo hasn't integrated some degree of this because
I really hoped for trophy achievements.
Yeah, achievement trophies. Those would be rad. No.
They did the sticker thing.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
The stamps.
Stamps.
It wasn't worth much.
No.
What I found to be curious was I actually knew some people who were like, why isn't Nintendo listening to their fans and giving us achievements? Because that doesn't affect gameplay in any way, shape, or form. Like playing through Super Mario 3D World and not getting a trophy for beating the whole thing with just Toad, I was not distraught at that. So, I don't think do you guys have any feedback about this?
Well, I would. Unfortunately, I don't think achievements have an impact on my gaming anymore.
How's that unfortunate? That's great.
Because I think it would be cool if it was like in a Mario game. Like, for example, if I played Mario 64, I would go through levels and get every coin.
Mm-hmm.
If there was an achievement for that, cool, I'll do that. But since there isn't, that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I'll still do it because that's how I want to play the game.
I mean, to be fair, I did that when I got a star for it.
I mean,
I wasn't getting like 167 coins in certain levels just because I could.
And I mean, so you're not looking for achievements to validate what you've done. You're looking for them to recognize what you would have done anyways.
Yeah, I guess I would say that.
Okay. So then no effect for you, and your gaming habits and purchases are not affected in any way, shape, or form.
Nope. Zero, none.
Cool. Brent.
No, I don't think it really affects me much anymore. I went through that small phase.
Yeah.
I think
I've phased out myself, as I've said. But does anybody have anything else they'd like to add before we wrap this up?
Just that I think that what Sony's doing and what you said that Microsoft did do, where they added a tangible reward for maxing out and achieving all the achievements in a game, I think that's a good move, and I think that's a step they should consider if they're going to keep up with this achievement system that's not going away. But outside of that, I don't know what else you can really do.
Brent?
No, I agree with Chris there.
Salient points. So what is everybody else's opinion on this? Why don't you go ahead and get online and tell us, do trophies affect how you play? Are they the best thing since sliced bread? Chris, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Josh.
Brent, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
Jump online and let us know what you thought. But until next time, my name is Josh, and this is Co-Opinions.